Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
This is your last month to book the Tom and Dan cruise, so if you want to go cruising with us in September.
Cruising, baby, one more time, and we'd like to have you with us.
Yeah, all final payments are due at the beginning of June, so May is the last time to book, and you can do that at TomandDanCruise2024.com.
Yes, go there, check it out. You get a drink package and free Wi-Fi. So.
Also, a few tickets left to our ACT live show, May 31st. That's going to be at the Wayne Dench Ritz Performing Arts Center Theater.
I mean, that was better than you normally. That was better than normally. I wasn't going to say it either.
Yeah.
It was closer than it has been. It's the Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center, the Ritz Theater at the Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center.
Oh, okay. Well, it's too long. You just call it the Ritz.
Putting on the Raz.
So a couple things. One, my buddy Alex.
You don't have any buddies. Hold on a second.
That lives in Boston.
Hey, Boston Alex.
He saw the Northern Lights on Friday.
Yeah, a lot of people here in Florida were using their phone to go outside, and I guess if you videoed the sky and then watched your phone back, even I bet people in Bithlow were doing it.
Yeah, the phone could see it, but you can't see it.
I don't have enough interest in any of that to even care, but
it is. I mean, I
am jealous that the vans seem to constantly be staring in the sky and looking at the amazing stars, the cosmos. You guys are Cosmo people. You are. The
more
vans
my
are,
wife.
You guys are more Cosmo than the Dennises. We do not. We might as well be.
You
the
look
village.
down. You never look up.
No, we're the village. Maisie's never done anything. We're literally. She's in the village. If you go beyond the village, there's no dance beyond the village, Maisie.
So I guess there were like huge solar flares that caused the northern lights to be more visible.
It was
more south.
It was a solar storm on the sun, and from what had some smart guy try to explain it to me because he's like, "You're dumb. I'll explain it to you." And he's like, "It's basically when the surface of the sun it becomes like." It detaches itself from the sun, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets super duper hot, and then marches its way into space, I guess, and that's what's considered a solar storm.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it makes sense to me. Not.
It's insane that they know that's coming.
Right.
Like, how do they know that's coming? Because does it work on some cycle that they know that the sun, just like everything else,
but we know
has
cycles aren't like guaranteed predictability on those, right?
It's insane what we know and then what we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know that and then not know so many others?
Sure.
Anyway. So
16 times the diameter of the sun. Someone in the chat room called it a G5 plus solar storm.
Now I know that
and it's an 11-year cycle. Sarah says. Thank you, Sarah.
So my sister-in-law, Crystal's sister Alex, she went to Iceland and saw the Northern Lights in the north, right? Yeah. And so when
they're just called the lights there.
Yeah. When usually you have to travel to the north of our globe to see this.
But we've messed it up so bad that things are coming to us now. Is that what you're telling me?
No. So when she did this, I asked her, I was like, "How was it?" And she was like, "It was cool, but you could see it better through the pictures than you can through your own eye." Right, which I thought was a little disappointing because I was like, well, that kind of sucks because...
it's like going to Moab and then the rock formations you're looking at look better on your phone. That's dumb.
Well, which
is not the case. That's not what I'm saying. Like you said to me that like when you're seeing them, you can grasp they
look better in person than in picture.
Well, also just the how big it is. I mean, it's ginormously amazing.
And a lot of things, like, they look better when you're looking at them in real life than they do in pictures, like landscape.
Like my wife looks better when I'm looking at her than when I look at her photos. I love her in person more. She's beautiful.
I saw, like, Becca Rouse. She took a picture of the Northern Lights in here in Florida.
Yeah.
But you could only see them through the camera.
Yes.
And not.
Does that not count to you? We're using a computer's eye. It's no different.
I don't want to ask on people's experience.
It's no different than a telescope looking at the stars, and we just without that, we wouldn't have the photo.
That's true, but you're looking through the telescope and you're seeing the actual whatever you're looking at with your eyes. So with the phone, like only being able to see it with your phone is kind of not as good than if you look up and you see, the experience.
I would agree with that.
Because technically,
you want to experience it without the detachment of the phone.
Yeah.
The phone detaches the experience. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. We're almost to the because technology, like with other stuff, if you're looking,
we're detached from the actual real experience. Like when I have ChatGPT write every email I send now, I'm detached from the experience.
Although it is cool that people saw that, and even like in Boston.
But if everybody sees it, then it's not cool. That's my thing. Is that when I look at my Facebook and it's every friend I have looking, hey, look, and I took a photo of it. Hey, look, the Northern Lights, here it is. And then I'm like, well, you're all saying it. So that's why I choose to not say it, because that makes me the unique one. I didn't care. So that makes me truly unique. You guys are all the sheep, the lemmings. You guys out there with your phones filming everything. Not me. I'm not going out there. I don't even care.
So let's talk water parks. You went to a water park yesterday for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was still.
Which one?
Water parks are still water parks, buddy. We went to Typhoon Lagoon.
Oh, the old lagoon.
I liked it. You know what? I was ready to bitch about it, but I enjoyed Typhoon Lagoon, I think, over Blizzard Beach, because I think Maisie's at the age now where Blizzard Beach is a little too kid-like.
Okay.
Like Typhoon Lagoon, this is the first time we've been to a water park where, with her Apple Watch, at some point, she was like, I want to ride the Durstook. She got obsessed with the one that goes straight down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just go ride it. She's like, I want you to be there. And I was like, I don't want to be there. And she's like, can I go ride it myself? And I'm like, yes, you can. So this is the first time in the history of her being a kid that I've let her just go off. Like, bye-bye. See ya.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
It is a different way of going to a water park, dude. It's a game changer. Andrea was able to get a sangria. She brought me a Coors Light, and we sat alone for an hour.
Yeah. Well, she just.
Well, she rode Durstook a million times, or Gusher, Crusher, or something, some kind of crazy ride. And she just rode it until she made herself sick, and then came back and laid down, and it was amazing. It's like a whole different way of doing the park. It was like actually like being on a date with my wife again. We get to kiss.
Yeah.
We get to kiss my wife while she's having a sangria. It's pretty awesome.
Well, you can kiss your wife in front of Maisie.
Oh, absolutely, I can, but it just felt different. We're talking about adult things, It was like,
You know what? Speaking of kissing your wife in front of your kids,
Andrea, or like we do it, and Maisie always will say something terrible, like,
Well, Crystal tells me all the time, she's like, we have to show emotion in front of our kids so that they, learn affection. Because how else will they learn affection if we don't do it in front of? Because I'm not.
Tongue me.
I'm not.
Quick, tongue me. They must see it.
And then then I'm like, is that a thing? Like,
I do think about that at times. Like, I try not to go, like, be horribly, like, even if I'm joking, like, I think about some of the things I say to Andrea, because I don't want Maisie to think I'm some sort of, like, disrespectful. Yeah, I don't want her to think I'm I do think about that sort of stuff. Like showing her mother, like, maybe even more respect than I even feel at the moment, because I don't want her to think that that's an acceptable way for men to treat her. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I hide my true feelings.
Yeah. You don't want her to get
a Daniel. Yeah.
Exactly. You need to protect her from that.
I do. I insulate her from that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, because that's what the stereotype of the daughters do. They marry someone like their dad. Yeah. Right. Like,
Correct. So I try to show, like, I do.
And is that a thing too?
I don't know, man. You and I have kicked these around so many times. Like Maisie is a tiny Andrea. Do you know how hard it was to get both of them to buy anything at Typhoon Lagoon?
That was Maisie doesn't want to buy anything?
I had to convince them both to get their sand pail ice cream bucket for Mother's Day to share. Because they're like, it's $20. That's a lot. I'm like, good God. Why are we here? Because I'll do a Tom. I'm like, why are we here? We came here for what? Why did we come? We came here to not spend money? Why are we here? I could have asked Tom, can I swim in your pool? I'll bring food.
The stark opposites that our kids are insane.
It's
because
insane.
My sons have no concept of money whatsoever.
Maisie will cry.
I'll tell them, like, this is $100. My sons are like, We've got that.
Maisie has cried. I'm not making this up, and this may be. I don't want Andrea to get mad for me saying this. Maisie has cried in thinking that something that Andrea bought her cost the family too much money. She's cried.
It's weird that
she has the. Like, look, I'm terrible with money. I've made jokes about how terrible I'm with money. My father was terrible with money. You guys know the story of my father coming home multiple times with new motorcycles that he would lie to my mom and say he just got it, quote, painted. I just got it painted. No, it was a new motorcycle. My dad would bring – no, he'd buy what he wants with reckless abandonment. He'd come home with our safety deposit box in the trunk of his car because he needed it for collateral to buy something.
But he didn't spend all his money. You guys weren't destitute
Mom
or whatever.
Stopped him. Yes, we would have been destitute. No mom. He would have spent every dime we had on Harley Davidsons and motorcycles and campers and Ford Expeditions and all this crazy garbage. Remind you of anybody? Electric scooter kits.
He's living his life.
He was living his life. But they would have been destitute had my mom not stepped in and basically taking yo, you got to slow down. So Andrea does that same thing with me, but Maisie has that gene. It is a real thing, and it is financial. The chat room said it. It is financial anxiety. And Maisie has it. And I didn't give it to her. I make jokes about spending. I was like, yeah, buy it. I was like, yeah, buy it. We're not rich. Yeah. We're not rich, but I'll say that. And Maisie is not like me. She is not. It's in the blood that there's some sort of weird financial anxiety inside of her. That she'll check prices when we go places, and then we'll get something. She made a comment about market price one time. She's like, well, that's a little more expensive than we got it at the other stop. I'm like, what kid says that?
It's better than the extreme of the opposite side of it, because that could, having financial anxiety.
Well, not worrying about it at 8 would be nice, right? That'd be nice.
Yeah, but I guess, eventually it will end up benefiting her in life, I guess. I don't know if you, like, the long term, I guess you could look back in your 90s and say, like, I should have spent more. I don't need millions of dollars in my savings account.
Right.
I don't need
There's
to die with
probably a number. If you went to a planner and said, like, hey, help me here, there probably is a magic number that you need.
Of the best, like, you should spend X amount on your own life. But I think I'm the opposite side. I waste so much GD money. Like, I was at the, I know we complain about expense all the time, but things are crazy expensive now. Like, me and Tommy, and we'll talk about this on the BDM show a little more because Crystal's coming in, but me and Tommy went to Boardwalk Bowl.
Nice.
Because Crystal took Max to the AJR concert. And again, we'll talk about it on the BDM show later today. But,
you can sign up at tomadan.com/registration.
Like, do you know bowling is $50
Didn't
now?
used to be, I know.
Like, you rent it for an hour for the lane. It was like $50. I was like, God damn, $50. And then we played some arcade games, spent $40 on that. And then we had like a hot dog and a burger together. That was another like $45 or whatever, or $40. And then it's like, well, this the whole... going to bowling with your son, just me and Tommy, end up being like $125. And I'm like, that seems expensive. I don't, that's the price of things, but $125 for like hour and a half of bowling.
The thing that was most disgusting to me at the water park, if we can go back to that for a second, was the amount of people that would book these. I mean, rich people wasting money is something that you and I've always been fascinated with. Like that. I mean, we could have called the original name of the show. Tom and Dan are obsessed with rich people wasting money because it's been a theme for like 30 years in our careers. And these people, they rent these cabanas that people need because it was so hot in the sun towards the end of the day that you're roasting out there. But they would rent them for like $300, $400 a pop and then not go.
Oh,
I would ask about, like, how about this cabana? And there was a BDM working. Shout out to the BDM that works at Typhoon Lagoon. You were so sweet. Her name is Vicky. I'm giving you a shout out.
All right.
Vicky at Typhoon Lagoon. I gave you a hug. You were so sweet to me and Andrea and Maisie. We love you and thank you for listening. But she kind of showed us where to go. And because all the cabanas were like, they're booked up for months, just months. And she told me that. People are telling me, like, no, you'll never get one. It's booked up for months. They'll book them. It's towels, the seats, the whole nine, food, everything, not even show up. And it's just sitting there, and you're not allowed to use it. You can't use it. I asked. They're like, I'm sorry, it's already booked up. I'm like, but they're not there, and you're only open for 20 more minutes. Nope, sorry.
It is insane because the whoever booked that, just doesn't care about $800.
Well, they just wanted options for their kids, right? So they're just like, oh yeah, in case we want to go to the water park, just book the Cabana.
And they're like, we slept in today at our $1,000 a night hotel. Like, it's just the amount is insane.
Yeah.
The waste.
Thongers are, I'll give you this report, thongers at the water parks are at an all-time high. I've never seen more. In fact,
I like that.
I've never seen more, and they're true thongers. And the new one, and I'm just throw it out there, the new one, and it's not for everybody style, is you just wrap a cloth band around your waist and tie it, and then you wrap a diaper between your legs.
Okay, all right.
And you just have a piece of cloth that just goes between your legs, a sumo.
Okay,
all women are sumo. Everybody's got a sumo.
I don't know
it's
the sumo.
Like,
it's a cloth
just
bathing suit?
The whole bathing suit is just a strip of cloth at the top, and you tie it in front.
Okay.
And then hanging is a cloth diaper that goes between your genitals. It's like a strip that just goes between your genitals and your butt.
Okay.
And then it just connects in the back. It's just a loop of cloth.
Okay,
it's like you're wearing you're wearing like
sumo.
You're wearing like a spicy diaper. It's a spice diaper or something. I don't know what. It's weird. But
right.
all women are wearing it.
Yeah.
And it is not for everybody style. If you're an egg, when you put that didiper on, you look like a diaper egg. It's a weird look. A lot of things hang out the sides. I'm trying to be clinical for radio, but a lot of action, side action.
Yeah.
Because it moves weird, right? Like when you're moving and you're wearing what could only be described as like Conan's diaper, and you go to get a hamburger at, Lucky Louie's hamburger, you're over there and you bend over to do something and your full pube mound falls out. Like it's not, it's just, it's weird, man.
And then you're standing on the line on the stairs because with the water parks,
with this lady's pubes hanging, like a big old wig hanging out.
Like everybody's in line, so you're in stairs.
And it's me, and I'm between this lady dressed like a spicy egg, and then there's a 13-year-old with a thonger on in front of me. And then behind me is a man with a banana hammock on.
But the people in front of you are like 3 steps above you, so their ass is face height.
Right.
So you're just face to the thong.
Yes.
Which is awkward.
Face of the thong.
Yeah. And then it is something weird. Like you are a grown adult and you're standing face to thong on the stairs or waiting for a ride for 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long time. One of them, I think we stood in like for a solid.
And you're wet. You've got your shirt off. You're wearing, a bathing suit too. And then so everybody's in this weird thing where they're all in essentially, but your bathing suits
less
are revealing.
than pajamas. It's less than pajamas at this point.
And you're just standing in line with each other, strangers.
I do love confidence. I did see, and I've seen this almost every time I've been to.
Oh, there's some confident people.
I like it when a big black mama's boobies fall out of her top, and she just slowly puts them back in. And it's like she slowly puts them back in with confidence, like. I use this example with Sabrina. I was talking to Sabrina from the News Junkie about it. I like how confident that big black mamas put their boobs back in their tube top. They do it like a confident man vaping in a comedy club. You have to do it with confidence. If you're going to vape your marijuana or whatever anywhere, you do it with confidence. If you do it with confidence, you don't get caught. If you blow up below you, if you look around, no, you have to just do it like you were meant to do it. That wave pushed my boobies out, so I'm going to put them back in this. I'm going to take my time and do it right.
Last time I was at a water park, there are some women that will, we're talking like 46-year-old women that will wear an insanely revealing tiny bikini, like full.
Spice diaper.
Full spice diaper, and then the cleavage. My God,
it's there.
And I listen. I like looking at it. All right.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that they.
I'm not body shaming nobody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be. That's inappropriate. I don't care. And let my son see it. They need to grow up. I don't.
Right. The world is a tough place.
But I'm surprised that because they're there with their whole family and also friends and like a huge group of people, and no one said like, "Hey, you want to tone it down?" This is because I feel like if I was there with my friends and Crystal decided to wear like the diaper and the or the
so
Borat,
spicy
the
diaper,
super that like someone else in the group would be like, whoa, that's a little extreme for a kid's Disney water park.
It is a kid's water park. I mean,
again, though, I like that they made that choice because
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm, miserable. I like looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's pretty, they are very confident and want to show off their ass and giant tees.
Yeah, mega jugs.
To everybody there,
Yeah.
all the dads are there with their family.
They know what's happening.
And all the teenage boys.
Yeah, especially the teenage boys.
Which are all staring at them the entire time, which isn't it awkward for them?
I was sitting next to a patch of teenage boys. Yes, I said patch. And there was like 6 of them. And they were like maybe 13 to 17, let's say.
Yeah.
And they all had the broccoli haircut, and they're all there. Yeah. They all got their chains on. They all look good.
It's for kids.
And this mom and daughter, I kid you not, mom and daughter. Mom is 60s. Daughter is 40s.
Yeah.
And they're both workout. They both look good. The 60-year-old you could tell they're mom and daughter.
Yeah.
And you could tell that they know they look good. And you could tell that they both coordinated their inappropriate outfit. And they were walking around Typhoon, showing the thong and I almost said the T word, and showing the boobies everywhere. And the boys were like, oh, rah, rah, rah. And everybody knew, and they knew, and the boys knew, and I knew. And the boys didn't know that I knew because I was keeping quiet. I was listening to a book on mind, gut health. I'm sitting there listening to a book on how to stop myself from having IBS. Like a fat dad sitting in the corner listening to his gut health book.
So they know they're showing it all off.
Oh, yeah. 100% they know.
Yeah, because you're well aware of what you
look
like.
They walked by us 1,000 times.
And but you're showing it off to essentially a bunch of kids and dads at a Disney water park.
Kids water park.
Which is odd. It's just odd. It is odd. Again, though, I like it. And I'm glad. And please keep doing it.
I revealed something to Maisie in the wave pool that hurt her feelings and I think made her question her opinion of me. I told the story that I've told on the show multiple times about how I was kicked out of Wet and Wild for pulling my pants down on I forget what ride it was, the Mach 5. It was a Mach 5.
All right.
I mooned the crowd as I came down, and I got banned for life from Wet n Wild. You've heard the story.
Yeah.
I told Maisie that, and she's like, wait. We're in the wave pool, and we're like floating up and down. She's like, wait. Is that serious? And Andrea's like, yeah, he was asked to never come back. She's like, he got banned? And she's like, and Andrea's like, yeah, he got banned. She's like, oh my God. Like, you could see her opinion of me change. Like, you could see her be like, oh my God, this man's my father's a maniac.
Yeah.
And then Andrea was trying to do damage control for me, like low key. Andrea's like, well, the place isn't around anymore. It went out of business.
It was a little trashier.
And Andrea,
they expected it there.
Yeah, like Andrea was doing the chat room, nailed it. Neo Del Rio said it was a different time. Yeah, Andrea was trying to throw everything at her, but it was gone.
Yeah.
You could always.
She's a rule follower.
She is a rule follower, and she
then
could not.
It made her disgusted.
It did, and it hurt my. You know me. I'm triggered easily. So when they went back to do their slide, I came back. I sat listening to my gut health book and cried. I cried listening to a gut health book.
Oh, you brought this up before we started the show, but that Red Bull did a wingsuit stunt over the weekend.
Yeah.
Where basically a guy in a wingsuit flew down in between the famous bridge in London. Is it in London?
Yeah, I believe it is in London. I'll have to pull it up here.
And I'm not familiar with that particular bridge, but it's a bridge where the road on the bottom, and then it's
Tower Bridge.
Okay, the tower on the top. There's a huge gap. It looks like it must be hundreds of feet.
It is okay. So Red Bull skydivers Marco Fuest, 33, and they're both Marcos. Marco Voltspielen, 39, leapt from a helicopter hovering 3,000 feet above London on Sunday morning. During the flight, the pair went through Tower Bridge, reaching speeds of up to 153 miles per hour, and completed a complex maneuver known as a flare. The bridge was closed for the jump. Wingsuit flying allows jumpers to glide horizontally. We know how wingsuits work.
Yeah, but they're also falling, like
right. Just like airplanes are.
And so they went through the gap of Tower Bridge in London, flared up, and were able to pull their chutes after. But what makes this kind of insane is like there's no margin for error if you make a mistake. Like if your flare is wrong, you're dead.
Right,
because you're
right.
going way too fast. And then there's no time for your chute to be pulled or whatever. It was. I saw the video on social media, and it is nuts.
Yeah, here's a couple of pictures they have in here because they have the. I do like it when they put the smoke.
Oh yeah, you need the smoke on the feet.
So us dum-dums can see what's happening.
Yeah,
I wish they put smoke on a hockey puck so I could see what's happening. Put some smoke on it.
Well, that's from the people watching from the ground because you can't see. The person in the wingsuit is so small. And
tiny.
Have you ever seen those videos of those people like going by like cliffs and stuff? Like people stand on the cliffs as they proximity
They
fly.
hold a balloon.
And they're rocketing so fast like a bullet. You can barely see them go. But anyway, I imagine that more and more like extreme stunts like this. I mean, I guess they've already landed in a bunch
never seem
of boxes.
extreme to me anymore, only because Red Bull's behind them. And when Red
so
Bull's doing it,
out,
I always feel like, oh yeah, they're gonna do this because these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, of course, and they know
they put money and safety into it, and they got all the best guys. And whenever
Yeah.
you read the names and they're all like super European, French, and German names, I'm like, they're fine. If it was like Troy Biggins, I'd be like, uh-oh. But it's what do we got here? Marco Waltenspielen and Marco Frist.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're fine. They're European.
Yeah, they've been doing it since they were 14 off the cliffs of Nova Scotia.
The nuns taught them in Sweden.
Yeah. It's all
the au pairs in Sweden had them out on the cliffs diving.
Yeah. Also I know Rockville was this weekend, and a bunch of our listeners went out there.
Yeah, let me see if I got some emails from people on Rockville.
And I want to talk about that pickpocket story too.
Yeah, do you want to let's do the pickpocket one because I got it up here, I think.
I didn't know this still existed. So to the point where there's rings of pickpocketers, like organized pickpocketers.
I don't think I did either. This is from Fox 35 here in town, and this is with regards to the Welcome to Rockville Festival that was in town this past weekend. 8 arrested for stealing wallets, cell phones at Rockville. Here's the picture you're going to like, Tom. When you go down, look at all those cell phones.
Wow.
It's a lot.
How many are there?
It's
they
so
got
many.
a lot.
Also, this is I guess this is where this is the funniest photo. So if you look at this photo, you'll see two things that are funny. First of all, it's like this one fat guy was able to get like 50 different cell phones. Also, to the far right, you see a giant box of Chick-fil-A. A humongous box of Chick-fil-A.
Oh, is that for
That's for the cops. That's for the cops. They got the Chick-fil-A. They got the nuggies. Give me those nuggies. And don't skip on the Chick-fil-A sauce. It's the smoky goodness. See the Chick-fil-A in there? Yeah.
How about take that out of the shot when you're displaying all the evidence? Like, you're going to leave your lunch in there. Like, leave a picture of a big fat lunch.
Take my diet lemonade out of the photo, please.
So now that I think about it, though, the best opportunity for pickpockets is in a giant crowd that are smushed together. Like, you're constantly bumping into people, so it's easy to, because if you're not smushed in a crowd, a little harder to pick someone's pocket because they're going to notice you bumping into them or touching you in some way. Like, if you're all smushed together, mass humanity, you could pull things out of people's pockets because most people keep their cell phone in their back pocket now, right?
I don't. I still keep mine in my front.
Well, you got a regular size one. Like mine.
No, I got the big fat guy.
Oh, you got the big one?
I upgraded. But I still, normally though, when I get places, and I think you do this too, I sit down and I take my big monstrosity of a phone out and I set it down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah, I guess,
I'm a front pocket guy. I think somebody it might have been Bart Merrick. I think it was Bart. I think it was our realtor partner, Bart Merrick, who told me to put my phone in the front of my pocket so I wouldn't get pickpocketed. And I think that resonated with me somehow. And I've never done it, never been, without it that way since.
Well, I could see in a concert scenario, like, it's easier to get pickpocketed. Although, in this news story, did it say it was a ring of people?
They're saying here
there's multiple people working together.
Yeah, they work in pairs, one reaching into victims' pockets, bags, or purses, stealing the contacts, then handing them off to another suspect so he can get the phone off of him. It's smart. It'd be like, I grab the phone, you're with me, we work in a pair, I pulled this out of somebody's purse, I hand it to you. That way, if the person goes, goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'd be like, "I just bumped into you, man. I'm sorry."
Yeah,
They're like, "You took my phone." I'm like, "I got nothing on me."
Yeah,
and then I really
yeah.
do have nothing on me.
Yeah, and then you do the move where you pull your pockets inside out, and you're like, okay.
You've been doing that a lot lately. You've been like performing that in front of Crystal.
So now
they had 50 different phones in that bag. Here's the bag.
So
if you see here at the bottom, you can see they had it was just in a standard, almost like your Chubby's cooler bag, and then this guy was just like putting them all in. Here's the dude that was doing it.
Here's what I don't understand. Because a while back, I remember when there was a thing where the FBI and the government wanted to work with Apple about unlocking phones for them because they wanted to unlock criminals' phones or like people they're investigating.
Right.
And they couldn't do it, and Apple wouldn't.
Apple was like, "We're not going to do this," and everyone was like, "Thank you, Apple." But then they were like, "We figured it out anyway.
Okay.
F you." And then Apple's like, "Wow."
But that was, a long time. We're talking more than a decade ago that I heard that story. So, but now, if you are computer savvy or, a criminal or whatever, you can unlock someone's phone if you steal their phone.
I don't know. Because I can't give you a definitive. I'm guessing yes. Guessing yes, you can.
Because the fact that there's pickpocketers stealing phones tells me that
they may not be able to get your info off of it, but they can wipe it and make it a new phone.
Well, that's what I mean.
I think so. Yes.
You could wipe it. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to. Oh, maybe that's the thing. You can't get into the person's thing, but you can wipe it clean.
I think that's the fact.
And then it makes it a blank phone.
I could be wrong on that, but I've always thought this is the standard answer I've ever given anybody is like when my wife's worried about her stuff on her phone. I'm like, well, if you had like Find My Phone on there or if you wiped it yourself from your computer, you're good. But can they use it somehow, jailbreak it and make it something that's usable? Yeah, I think maybe they can. So
let's look at you've got, if you don't carry around a massive amount of cash on you, which normally people don't, right?
I don't carry any cash.
So you got your driver's license and all your credit cards, which are valuable. But if someone stole your phone and let's say your phone's backed up, right?
Okay.
So
which we all know it's not.
And you have insurance on it, right? Well, most people's phone, they have their pictures on the cloud and like all their websites essentially. They're, you could access them from your,
right.
So like besides, and if they can't break into and steal your personal information and they're just stealing your phone and you got insurance on it, then technically if someone stole your wallet and cell phone, and even if they did go and use your credit cards, you can fraud, and saying like you can
happens all the time.
You can get your money back. It's not the end of the world because it's a pain in the ass to replace all that stuff, but it's not like it is going to ruin your life or put you in some financial setback that you can't dig yourself out of. You can get money back from credit cards. You can get a new driver's license. You can get a new phone.
Yeah, I don't think
if you have insurance on it, I guess. If
but
you don't have insurance.
It hasn't happened to me in a minute. I remember when cell phones were more new.
Yeah.
I think I lost my phone one time, but I'm not a phone-losing guy. I don't lose my phones.
Surprisingly, I've never lost my cell phone.
Yeah, it's a very rare thing.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is as I say that, remembering the number of people that sit in our couch and leave their cell phones is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Now, I've left my cell phone places and stuff, but again, with your ability to track where it is and stuff like, you can get it back fairly easy.
Yeah,
It's not the end, like so unbelievably like pain in the ass that it's going to, you should modify the way you live your life because of possible pickpockets. Although at a concert, I would say don't keep stuff in your pocket if you're going to be smushed together in a giant crowd. That's easy for them to do.
Yeah. It looks like they got all these guys. Sheriff Chitwood from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office said that they used a combination of reports from people as well as cameras that they had running, and they said that see here, it says the camera system we have is on top of it, but this just goes to show you here's an event that was advertised, come out, great weekend, everybody's going to have a lot of fun, and people are here legally or illegally, they're going to figure out a way to commit a crime, because I guess some people are saying that these people were illegal aliens or illegals.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, it really had nothing to do with the story.
No, I don't know why you would say that, but
well, because political.
It's hot.
I see.
It's hot. I told you. I done told you.
I'm glad Chitwood is still putting criminals in the toilet.
Oh,
After
yeah,
all
that
these
shirt.
years.
That shirt. He used to have
That guy's
shirt.
a good sheriff.
Where can we get that
Daytona?
shirt?
Where
can we get the shirt where it was him with a plunger and he was stuffing a bad guy in a toilet, right?
Chitwood, I mean, I don't, who knows? It seems like he's a good sheriff, right?
Well, I mean, for every time you say that, then there'll be somebody be like,
Well, of course, everybody has different opinions, but from what I've seen over the decades of him being
Is
sheriff,
he your favorite? Is he your favorite sheriff? I'm a Grady Judd guy because when Grady Judd dressed up like that cowboy on the cover of that magazine, what he looked like. Do you remember that? And Grady Judd and his other officers were all in the hold on. Let me
like Yellowstone or whatever.
Yeah, I gotta find that. Grady Judd.
I mean, at least they're passionate about what they do. I thought from growing up in Miami and from watching movies.
Oh yeah,
I thought
this is the best one.
All higher up in law enforcement were corrupt in some way.
It was Tombstone. He was doing Tombstone.
Oh.
He was reenacting Tombstone, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
how good is that? That. Oh, hold on. I gotta pull this up. This is so good. Look at this. Look at this. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, it's so good. They got the real costumes. They even made them look sweaty like they'd been out riding. That is so good. We need to do that. Let's do a photo shoot again. Come on, let's bring it back. Let's do a funny photo shoot. Let's do your Sherlock Holmes and I'm Watson.
You could do that in AI.
I don't do that in AI.
I don't think that's a thing that is impressive to people anymore when they see you dressed up because now you could put our faces on any character.
Every single day I put our faces on different characters.
It's devalued us doing it in real life, right? Because then it's just like, well, you do this every day on AI. Who cares if it's real at this point? It's just, you're dressed up like a spaceman.
I do like that you had to stand there and wet your chest to make it look like you sweat, right? Like I think that does make it a little bit cooler. One more thing, if you mentioned AI, I'll mention this quickly. So Maisie had a school project, and she came to me and she's like, "Hey, will you help me make my poster for the school project?" And it was almost already done. Like she had this, it's called the Itty Bitty City, and I guess she was supposed to make like a business. So she came up with, I'm gonna do cookie decorating. Like you pay like $2 and you get a cookie, and then you get like icing and different kinds of sprinkles, and it's Maisie's cookie decorating, right?
Okay, so you give me the whole idea of the business. So people go there kind of like bachelorette parties or whatever to her business.
I don't think she's gone that far. This is for 8-year-old. This is an 8-year-old. Like she just.
Well, what's the business?
The business is anybody. It could be anybody.
Okay.
It's not just bachelorette parties.
Okay.
Namely,
does she have a website?
No, it's namely just the kids in her class.
Okay.
Right? It's a pretend, Tom.
The whole exercise is her to make a business.
It is, but I'll tell you the non-pretend part was that she wanted a logo for her cookie company.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's Maisie's Magical Cookie Decorating. I'm like, all right. So we were sitting there, and I go, let's put this into ChatGPT. Let's just put it into AI. And she's like, she got excited. Yeah, let's do it. So we sat down on my laptop, and I had her do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, I did help her by telling her things.
Yeah,
so I sat next to her, but she was
prompts,
typing the whole thing. And I said, hey, what do you want it to look like? She's like, I want it to look like, this is all really what happened. She's like, I want it to look like the Jeff's Bagel Run logo here in town. There's a place here in town called Jeff's Bagel Run.
Okay.
Great bagels. They're expanding like crazy. I wish they advertised, putting that into the universe. Jeff's Bagel Run does phenomenal bagels.
Okay.
It's a bagel with arms, and he's running, and there's like cream cheese flying off the top of him, right?
Okay.
So she wanted like a cartoon bagel. So I had her type into ChatGPT, into the Dolly program, I want a cookie that's running that is a girl with eyelashes.
Okay, yeah.
And has sprinkles flying off of it. And I want it to say Maisie's Magical Cookie Decorating. And I kid you not, in like 15 seconds, there was a freaking logo. I'll have to send it to myself so I can show everybody.
Yeah.
The logo came out so good.
You showed it to me. It is good.
It was amazing. Like, it was literally an amazing logo. And then Maisie's like, okay, well, I'm done with my project.
No.
That was it. We printed it out. We went up to Joann Fabric. We bought the printer paper that you can print on, like, cloth. And we printed the logo out on the paper, and then we ironed it onto an apron, and boom, we're done. The whole project, no BS, took 12 minutes.
Now, is that the equivalent of having ChatGPT write an essay for you?
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah.
Because essentially,
I absolutely think it is. Yes.
The project was have Maisie design the logo. So really,
she did design the logo.
AI did the work.
It did, but she told it what she wanted it to look like.
Yeah. Which is, I guess.
I don't know. I'm conflicted. Look, it's new stuff. I'm conflicted.
But it's better than any other kids. I bet she shows up. I mean, that's a pro logo that.
It was so good.
Yeah, that you could use, to start an actual business.
Yeah, like it's like really, really well done. Like the logo came out so good. I'm having trouble pulling it up now, but
the funny thing, I only say that because that's the for the show. But her learning that this is a companion to humans for the future is valuable information, because this will be something that all humans will be working with in the not too distant future to do all these types of projects. Even school. So it's like her doing it herself with some markers and a paper is almost inefficient. This is what she needs to learn
how to do it,
because this is going to be, it's like learn to use your computer or your cell phone as a companion to life, because that's the reality of the future.
Here's the logo. I'll put it up for the chat room to see, so they can see how good it is. I don't know if you can see the Maisie part unless I put it big, but there's the cookie running. And you can kind of see it says Maisie, but they did it.
Yeah, it's insanely good.
It's an insanely good logo for what she wanted. That's better than us wasting our time all day. Plus, it was honestly, it was cheaper. I didn't have to go buy all the markers and poster boards and all this kind of garbage. We just bought one thing, we printed it, we ironed it, and we're done.
Yeah,
we're out. They're how much did you spend? $14. We're good, man.
Yeah.
Not bad. Anyway.
So, that's the future right there.
It is. It's coming 100%. For you.
And we'll end with this. This, I saw that, I think, was it some sort of 5K or type of thing that Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura put on? Was it their thing?
I think it was their company, Porosos, which is 2 Bears Vodka.
Okay. They did it for a promotional. They probably did a charity component to it. Or something.
I think they had wanted to do a 5K. We've even kicked it around because
I think we should do.
You're into it. Yeah, we probably will end up doing one.
Although,
can we get Jelly Roll?
And there was other celebrities there, like Bert Kreischer.
Pauly Shore, I saw him out there.
But I saw all the headlines, or at least I say headlines. I only see news now when it's presented to me on social media, and for whatever reason, Facebook still presents to me stories about these kind of things. All my other social media never presents to me any of this. The algorithm's different, but Facebook shows me still Orlando Sentinel. Stories and stuff, that. So that's the only local news I get.
I get a lot of these on my Instagram reels because I follow all the comedians.
Yeah.
So because of Segura and Norman and Kreischer and I get all their stuff in my feed.
Yeah. And also, and let me say this, good for him for doing this. Obviously anybody that goes out and does anything is good.
Oh, yeah.
And especially Jelly Roll.
Well, not anybody that goes out and does anything. I would have walked that one back. I'll walk that back.
I'm in this kind of world,
I know,
exercise or whatever.
Baby steps.
Yeah, or whatever you do. So I'm not, hating on him or whatever. It's just when and it's not even his fault, because he's like, hey, I'll participate, and I'm sure there's a charity component.
No, but he's a fan of theirs, and I think they were kind of using him as the vehicle for this whole thing. I do think that. And
then when the news presents Jelly Roll finishes a 5K, it's the news's fault for presenting it like that.
Well, you weren't impressed. I was very impressed.
Even though he did do this, and should there be, when any of these races, and I don't know, and there probably is, I know there is in Ironman and stuff, if you don't finish within an allotted time, you're disqualified.
Right.
Is there anything?
So you're saying this was a ceremonial 5K? This is no different than when Bill Cosby's giving an honorary doctorate.
Well, you're
saying it's not a real 5K, and because now you're in this world, you don't want that fat ass getting the same thing
No,
you
I'm not
is
saying
that what
that.
you're saying?
I'm not saying
you're
that.
Saying it with a lot of vitriol. I see the vitriol in your eyes. I see the vitriol in your eyes.
I'm not saying this, but should
I can see what you want.
Could
to
you
say,
take
though.
all? If you took, I don't know what time you finished.
So you're saying if Jelly
Roll, it takes them 2 hours to walk the distance of
Yeah.
3 miles. Like, you can walk that in Universal in half the day.
Look, man, he only talks to God when he needs a favor.
I'm joking. I'm just saying what I see the comments on the internet.
Are they mean? Are people going mean?
Well, they're going the it's fighting.
His wife said he's off the internet now, right?
Everybody's fighting.
His wife says he's off the internet now because it hurts his feelings.
Yeah. Well, why? Yeah, you need to not look at it.
Yeah, don't look at it, Jelly Roll.
You're a nice guy.
You are. We've had him in here. He's a lovely man.
Yeah.
He's one of the nicest.
Yeah. And so but you shouldn't look at the comments because
not today. Give it a week.
The
The news cycle's so fast now.
Don't look at them at all.
If he gives it 3 days, they'll already move on from the 5K. It'll be fine.
Like
they already move on. We didn't have anything crazy happen at Rockville, like any ladies pee-peeing or anything. I think it was all normal stuff.
I didn't see any crazy stories like that.
No.
It didn't seem.
I don't think it happened.
And we talked a lot of S. It seemed like people had a good time. It wasn't scorching hot.
We have a couple emails that we'll dabble into later.
Okay.
We'll get into.
All right. We will be right back.
Awesome. Great job. That was good, dude. I like that. We haven't done that in a minute where we kind of go through and hit
just a bunch
store.
of it.
You want me to grab more of those? That was fun.
Mm.
I enjoyed that. I was a little slower on getting my pictures and shit up, but I enjoyed that. I'll do that more often then.
Yeah. Because, just we're hitting a bunch of little things that we all,
5:13, we got 3 and 4. And that's
the only thing we didn't talk about the tire show on Netflix, but we'll talk about it.
We'll get to it eventually. Oh, no. Are we going to lunch?
Yes.
Well, guys, thank you for hanging out with us.
We're going to do lunch and then come back for the BDM show on the BDM page.
Ryan, we should have you talk about that more. Ghost says, I saw a guy wearing a shirt with a picture of the PP concert from 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. God. All right, y'all. We'll be back a little after, I'll start us a little before 1, and we'll be over on Facebook.
Yep.
And I think Crystal is coming in, so that's going to be fun. And we'll